super excited about having the opportunity to stand before such a prestige audience, and I'm not in no trouble. That's the greatest part of it. For those who don't know me, my name is Kedrian Brewster. I'm a reflection of someone who has successfully reintegrated back into society and who has successfully been rehabilitated. From the age of 11 to 16 years old, I spent my time in boot camp, juvenile facilities, boys' home, group homes. I was released when I was 16. I stayed home probably 6 months. And upon being released from the juvenile, I stayed home at 6, and I would go spend the next 14 years of my life inside of a prison institution. I went to prison when I was 17 years old. I came back home when I was 32. But that's not the reason why I'm standing before y'all right now. The reason I'm standing before you is because of the successful re-entry I've been able to make upon being released. You're looking at an individual who owns a multi-million-dollar trucking company. I'm someone who spends my time when individuals are released from institutions. I bring them out to my yard, I put them in trucks, I train them, and I begin to show them a skill set. People often ask me, why did you choose trucking? Well, I have to be honest with you. I chose trucking simply because I saw how good my homeboy was living. I had came home from prison, I was working in a warehouse, and I had been there for a few months, and they made me a supervisor, and I was kind of like, hold up, it gotta be some slick to this. Why are you making me a supervisor? I just been here about 8 months. There's people who've been here for years. So when they was telling me this, I was still kind of embarrassed and shy because I had just been released. So I waited for everyone to leave, and then I pulled the plant manager to the side. I said, hey man, just man to man between me and you, why you trying to make me the supervisor? You don't want to pay me, huh? Y'all don't want to give me the supervisor pay. You just want me to have the position. He's like, nah, Brewster. He say, Brewster, you come to work every day, you're on time, you have a positive attitude, and we love the initiative that you put forth. So I'm standing there, okay. He was like, that's it. I'm like, for real? I was waiting for some deep philosophical answer, and there wasn't one. Now that I'm a business owner, I understand the significance of having someone that's going to come to work every day, that's going to be on time, and that's going to do their job at a high level. Yes. I often tell people that are in society, they see how successful I am and how great I'm doing, and I often tell people my change didn't take place in society. My change took place while I was incarcerated. While I was incarcerated, I have a little brother that was 16 years old. And I come from a gang culture. So my brother would write me letters, throwing up our neighborhood, hitting up the gang signs. And it was an honor and a privilege for me to take this letter to the rec yard to go show my friends, this is how we do it where I'm from. This is how we raise them. It was an honor and a privilege for me to show them the letters and the pictures of my friends and my associates hitting up these gang signs. That same honor and privilege became a pain, a failure, and a regret. It would be 2 weeks later that they would call me to the chaplain office to tell me that my 16-year-old brother had just been killed to gun violence, gang violence. It was in that moment that I began to see the severity of my own influence. It is in that moment that I saw the power of my impression that I had upon my brother. So I traveled the country going into many institutions. Earlier, Chef Jeff told you guys about, we went into an institution out here today. And people always ask me, Brewster, why do you always go to these prisons? And I explain to people what I couldn't do for my brother, maybe I can do for them. Amen. Tonight is a reflection of what I call going from the streets to the suites. This is the suites right here. A collective group of individuals coming together to do something constructive and productive for the community. I often tell people today's inmate is tomorrow's neighbor, tomorrow's co-worker. We want to make sure that these guys have the support they need upon being released to reintegrate into society. I need my neighbor to have his stuff together. I don't need you crazy and you're living next to me. I often tell people this. So while I was incarcerated, a few years would go by. I say I've probably been incarcerated about 8, 9 years now. They would call me back to the chaplain office to tell me that my mother died from a drug overdose.
Oh, no.
I tell people the trauma that comes from the lifestyle, the emotional and mental hurdles that an individual will deal with upon being released back into society is serious. A lot of guys have issues that they never address while they're incarcerated. Point proven, my first 5 or 6 years in prison, I was caught up into the politics of prison. So I was in lockup, I was fighting, I was doing all of those things. It took the death of my brother and the tragedy of my mother to get my attention while I was incarcerated. When I came home from prison, it was my dream and my goal, when I always visioned in my mind, when I walk out of prison, I'm going home to my mama, she gonna have that sweet potato pie, it's up. When I walked out of prison and my sister, they were standing there, they asked me, where you wanna go? That's when the reality of the fact that my family is dead and gone hit me. The work that you guys are doing out here in Charlotte, North Carolina is unbelievable. It's unmatched. I'm from Dallas, Texas. I travel this globe on a daily. And it's not often that I see a collective group of individuals who come together to really put forth the real groundworks, the boots on the ground type of work to make something better for their community. So please give yourselves a round of applause. The addiction that my mother dealt with, the addiction that my brother dealt with, even myself. And when I say addiction, I explain to individuals. One hit of the streets and you hooked. The streets is like a drug. One hit and it's over. So it takes time to shake that addiction. I was someone who did not believe necessarily in second chances. I came up under the precept that, well, you done that, you guilty, it's over with. It was individuals believing in me and giving me a second chance is the reason why I'm standing here as someone who has successfully reintegrated back into society. It was individuals who took a chance on me. It was individuals who said, I believe in you. I was in prison and I was working in the kitchen. And it's a lady named Miss Stubblefield. And I was working, a guard coming here, we having words and whatnot. And she said, Brewster, you got a hell of a work ethic, but your mouth. So I was kind of like, I didn't want to tell her, but I say, man, what does work ethic mean? What she talking about me or something? So I was playing it cool right then. I went back to the wing, I pulled my homeboys to the side. Hey bro, what does it mean when they say you got good work ethic? He said, no, that's a good thing. That means that you take care of your business, and I sell you guys this story to tell y'all never know the significance of how your words can affect someone. Right. It was Miss Stubblefield who told me that I had a good work ethic. It was Miss Stubblefield who put that confidence in me to now when I go to this job facility, I know my value and my worth, so I'm going to make you pay me because my work ethic is unbelievable. I came home from prison. I do have a beautiful, big, successful trucking company, but that was never my goal. That was never my intention. I'm a best-selling author, writing books. Those things were never my intentions. My intention was to simply just come home. I felt as long as I was free and wasn't committing no crimes, I'm excellent. I got into the trucking business. What started out with 1 truck and 1 trailer, I now own 10 trucks, 10 trailers, and I operate 15 trucks. I've been blessed to be able to work with the Texas Department of Criminal Justice and our directors and our rehabilitation division to go back in there and be able to bring you guys real insight. It's not that a lot of individuals coming home don't want to do right, they don't know how to do right. This room right here is here to show them that they can do right. I didn't even believe in doing right until I saw it. I actually grew up believing and thinking that if I want something, I can just go and take it. It's unfortunate, but we have kids in our community that are raised to believe if you want it, just take it. I didn't know I could do good till I started doing good, and when I started doing good, it's been up. When I say it's been great, God is good. I have not a doubt in my mind about what a second chance means, because it's individuals that would tell everyone in this room, had I known Keedron Brewster was going to turn out to be the man he is now, I would have never believed it. This morning when we was inside the prison institution, I showed these guys a tattoo that I have on her that I would like to share with y'all as well. Right here on my arm, I have a tombstone, and it say R.I.P. Lil K. That's who they used to call me in prison. And I often tell people you have to kill the old you to create the new you.
That's it. That was good.
When we are born, we look like our mother and our father. But when we die, we look like the decisions we've made. I hope and pray everyone that's in this room tonight understand the significance of the decision they make to get up every day and put forth the effort to make the community better. I'm truly thankful and I'm honored to be able to stand before y'all as someone who has successfully crossed over. The reason why I put forth so much effort is because when I was 16 and 17 years old, I just didn't know no better. It wasn't that I was a bad kid. I wanted to be accepted by my peers. I didn't understand how to deal with the peer pressure, the emotional things that come with it. As a child growing up and you see your mother selling her body to get high, those things bother you. You're just not able to express it as a child. Now as a grown man, I'm able to process that it's not that my mother didn't love me, she had an addiction. It's a difference. The work that is taking place, once again, in Charlotte, North Carolina, is unbelievable. And I really hope and pray that you understand the significance of y'all support to nonprofit organizations. You have people that's coming home from prison, they need real support. They need somebody like Kenny to be there to tell them that if you do that, you're going to jail. If you do that, you're going to violate. I tell people this all the time because they think because they in prison, that life is just going to be so great when you get out. I ask them, I say, how many of y'all in here are depressed and deal with frustration and anger and mental issues? They all raise their hand. So I always tell them, well, let me be the bearer of bad news. The moment you are released from prison, all that's going to still be there. So I advise you to get the assistance and the help that you need right now. The mental help, the addiction help, the emotional help. Whatever it is that you need, I would advise you to be getting it now because life is waiting on you and life is life-ing. There's no in-between in that. In prison, you are given 3 free meals, you are given somewhere to lay your head, and you are given clean clothes. The moment that you are released back into society, you have just become responsible for those things. 76% of all inmates return back to prison within the first 3 years of being released. The reason for that is they don't have no money. So if you coming home from prison, rent due, water due, and you don't have any money, now you're ready to go commit a crime. This is why I stress to people the significance of a nonprofit like Freedom Fighters, someone that's going to be here that when you walk out, I can go take you to get a job. You need housing, I can go take you to go get. We're going to remove all excuses from you, sir. Young lady, whatever your situation is, we're going to remove all excuses because we have a community who has invested into Freedom Fighters to be able to do it. That is the purpose and the goal for you guys coming together like this. Back home, my whole family, everyone's waiting to know how did he been win? How did he been win? And I was sitting over there, and my guy Tiki came up to me, and he said, I just want to let you know, bro, your mama, she be proud of you. Amen. I tell y'all that because back home, this means everything to my community. For my community to be able to see me stand before such a prestige audience in this suit, it's going to allow them to see that it can happen, baby. Amen. It can happen. When Kitty reached out and they told me that they wanted me to come, I was kind of like, this is probably one of those events they ain't really. But when I got here tonight, I've been sitting over there and I've been paying attention and I see the sincerity from the work that the county do, from the work with the sheriff, to all of the support. And I truly, truly thank y'all for that. I cannot express to y'all the significance of it. And as an individual who comes from the system, who needed the second chance, I thank y'all. With that being said, I hope I was able to give y'all some insight in what it takes to be into society's success. Thank you.